Welcome to Operations and Supply Chain University. I'm Jerry Wright. This is lesson number 4, Voice of the Customer, or VOC. So voice of the customer, it equals the expectation that a customer has for a product or service. It can also represent customer satisfaction with our organization or with our company. We think about it. Who is our customer? What are their expectations, or what do they want or need? And then that creates customer satisfaction. If we don't meet their expectations, we're not going to have satisfied customers. And that's a big problem for us as an organization or as a business. So VOC, how can you hear your customer? Sometimes you want to get customer segmentation, identify subsets of customers with different needs, but essentially you need to collect their feedback. You can do interviews with customers. You could do point of use or direct observation of your customers using your service or your products. You could have focus groups. This is common in product development. You can also do surveys. There's lots of surveys happening out there. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if you're getting voice of the customer information, be wary of historical data. It may not have been collected accurately, and therefore you wouldn't want to use it. So what's the methodology or the process for VOC? It's actually fairly straightforward, but let's go through it in detail. First of all, identify your customers and their needs. Next, collect and analyze that data that you've acquired from your customers. Then work with proactive methods to fill in the data gaps. Maybe you don't have enough information on a particular segmentation, or you got data, but it's not giving you the information you want. Go back and get more. Make sure you have a thorough data collection. Then analyze that data to generate a list of customer needs in their customer language. The things that happen over and over again are the ones you want to focus on. It can't be everything. Now, you want to translate those customer language data and information into CTQs. Customers say, oh, I like it. Well, that doesn't mean a lot. What do you like? I like that it's smooth. Okay, what does smooth mean? We need to understand that. So you need to translate the customer language into critical to quality elements. Set those specifications for those CTQs or those critical to quality elements, and then you can actually start developing your process or product or improving your process or product. So the outcomes of this VOC process are you'll have a list of customers and their segments. You'll have identification of relevant and also irrelevant sources of data, meaning there's some things you can't use and some data is not reliable. You'll have verbal and numerical data identifying what the customer wants or needs. And then you'll have a defined critical to quality requirements. So you can really get about understanding what you need to do to improve your product or your process. And you'll also have some detailed specifications for each critical to quality element. Now, in the VOC assignment for you, you want to think about who is your customer for your project or your process and gather data that specifies their specific needs or wants. Then translate their needs and wants into measurable, actionable elements. Now, this is typical for product and process development, but for you, you want to understand who your customer is and who's receiving the output of what you've produced. If you want more information on the voice of the customer for product development, there is an Operational Excellence series book you can pick up on Amazon and other booksellers that digs into the process for VOC. That's it for VOC. Thank you.